What do you want to know?
What do we want to know? We're going to tell the story today, the stable story of Mr. Bruce Smith, Master Saddler here at Cranbourne. Bruce, welcome and thank you so much for participating in our stable story today. Could you please just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you started?
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. It's a very long story because I'm a very old person. But, okay, as a child, I grew up in a family that had an uncle, a horse breaker, and also another relation, an auctioneer and a horseman. So I grew up around and with horses and rode from a child. As it progressed at school, I worked for a saddler called Harry Downs. It was at Frankston, and I lived at actual Dandenong. And from school mornings, I used to go and unpack his stand at the market, and because you go to the cattle market every Tuesday. So that was my introduction to the saddlery. So I slowly got interested. Stayed at school. Finished in those days my leaving, and somebody said, "You're wasting your time, go and work as a saddler." So that's how the career became.
Fantastic. And you were riding too at the same time?
Yes, always riding, yes.
So you had an understanding of what it was to sit in the saddle and the importance of that feeling. Can you share with us a little bit more about the importance of how the saddle fits the horse and how it fits the rider?
Well, in the early days, we really didn't have much idea about fit. But we did know that if a saddle wasn't right for that horse, we would change it or we'd do something about it. Then as years have gone on, we've learned about different horse shapes and different tree shapes and different panel shapes. But I always, even as a kid, had this passion that you must be able to sit over your leg and carry your weight through to your stirrup and stay forward with the movement without being restricted and being balanced. So I suppose we've come up with a design in this saddle here. As you can see, there's room to sit over top of your leg, and your leg's directly underneath you. This seat slightly pushes you forward into a balanced position. So where the old saddles of years ago sat a little bit more this way, so your leg was more in front, and that's perfect if you're looking for a defence seat, chasing cattle and ducking trees through the bush and carrying a stock whip. But for the more competitive rider today, or the rider that wants to improve a balanced ride, equestrian has gone to an educated system where, in theory, every horse educated the same way, every rider should be able to just step from horse to horse, because the rider should have that same education. There's a theory years ago, somebody said you could teach a horse to turn left or right by bumping him on the shoulder with your foot. Well, that works for you, but when someone else gets on your horse, he's got to understand the difference between connecting between your leg, seat and hand.
So, and I guess the art is that the saddle puts the rider in the right position so they can communicate more effectively with their horse.
And even the more novice rider is better off in a well-balanced saddle than they are in a saddle that's not.
Yeah.
Because the chances of being in a balanced saddle, your learning becomes quicker and easier because you're not fighting the unbalanced ride.
And that's just amazing. All of those years of experience have given you that wealth of knowledge and experience and understanding of that makes you the master saddler that you are. Bruce, thank you so much. I think we're going to go and do a bit of a tour now, so I'm going to stop this and thank you.